Hi guys, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. Before I start this video, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys and to Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubers for just an amazing kind of positive support for my recent car accident. I'm getting there. To give you an idea, I'm getting there. Health-wise, I feel brilliant. You know, moving, neck, fine, back. See, I can still shimmy. I can boogie woogie. Oh, that sounded well weird. Anyway, today's video, what am I on about? What am I doing? It's cable, okay? So, if you're not familiar, Marvel Contest of Champions mods is back. MCOC mods, which is very strange because I didn't think that he would be back. I thought that maybe he's been rumbled by the fat cats at Marvel Contest of Champions, or Kabam. But no, he's back, and I will link all the videos in the description to go and see. So first of all, here is Cable, and I'm just going to play the video now. Look at him. This is the thing that and I'm going to take a big kind of pointer here on the level of detail, which is highly important from people that are fans of characters coming into the game. It's very specific on what the character looks like. So left side here, we've got a robotic arm. I'm so happy to see this. I really am. The gun as well, side on angle. The gun will get a different kind of perspective in a moment. Right, so we've got a damaged eye, damaged right eye. This I like. I think that's quite cool. Not because I want people to have harm inflicted on them, but you know, it's just I like it. I think this cable's fantastic. And I think I will be going for 5-star versions. I know I said to myself I wouldn't do it, but I've got 20,000. Maybe I can get 30,000 in time. I don't know, but oh my word. Level of detail on the character is fantastic. He's got this kind of like older, grayer look, which is normal. It's with the character, and keeping with the character. Style of lower half, I'm happy with. Style of upper half, yeah, it is what it is. I find it quite odd that the character's got like a badass gun, but it's like, what are these here? These meant to be like shotgun like shells, because that ain't a shotgun. That's some kind of pulse gun. And obviously this is the attribute side of things. So at 5 stars, 6,955 health, crit chance 10%, armor 18%, 80% is pretty high. Crit damage, yep. So and 48% on the block proficiency. Pretty darn good. The block proficiency side of things is like pretty good at 48%. So the character's kind of like motivation is on these synergies, which we'll have a look at the moment. Again, quite helpful. It's all emphasis on health for the character. Not quite sure what 4-star this is going to be, but I do like the idea of the perfect block. Crit chance, well, it depends on working at a mutant. Largely it's going to be a mutant synergy team where this character is going to be pretty good, but you could kind of play about with so many different things. Crit teams, crit damage teams, so many variations to do. Special attacks. On the first special attack, Cable knocks back his opponent, making space to use his plasma rifle. That's what I'm talking about. This attack is unblockable if you are currently under the effects of True Strike buff. Obviously that buff's going to be pretty amazing. A kinetic wave, the second one is like kinetic wave, blah 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 blah. The attack incinerates the enemy, dealing 100% of your attack as energy damage over 10 seconds. This effect also removes perfect block chance and reduces block proficiency by 100% while it's active. So you're dealing a lot of just true damage. Its attack has 84% chance to give an opponent a concussion, reducing their ability to act to 70%. The potency of this effect is affected by class relationship. So I guess it's skill, then think twice. TK rifle. Cable uses power to enhance his plasma rifle. Locks on his target and unleashes a withering barrage of firepower. There's a chance to grant True Strike for 15 seconds. Which I suppose then, if you kind of go hand in hand with like you did your third special, and then what you're doing is you're building up, and you like, if you get consistency, then boom, you're hitting in with True Strike. So that means that your L1 is unblockable. That must be correct. Yeah, true strike being unblockable. So go. It's like saying like what your tactics are. It's kind of like hitting the third and then going for the first. So the L1 becomes unblockable. That can be cool. His signature ability: techno-organic virus suppression. Cable's immense mutant powers are hampered by having to constantly keep the techno-organic virus in check. As the strength of the technovirus wanes, he has to devote less of his power to controlling it, which gives him more power to use at will. Helpful. Future poison durations are reduced by 20% each time a poison is triggered on Cable. Once his poison durations are reduced to 0, Cable gains a passive 50% bonus to special attack damage. Ooh, that could be tasty. When caused to bleed, Cable has 100% chance to trigger his heavy attack degen on his opponent. Ah, right. So then 100% chance to degen organic opponents for up to 400% of your attack over 15 seconds. So we've got another kind of detrimental effect here, in that by hitting a heavy attack, you put degeneration on your enemy. That could be quite helpful. So, but we have to trigger the bleed first. That's the thing. Bleed first, heavy attack. God, such a lot of... There's many things to remember in order to use the character like so amazingly. Strength of degen scales inverse of your opponent's current power. 50% chance to regen 15% health for 10 seconds each time a power threshold is reached. This ability stops working below 25% health. Ah, right, okay. Stops working below 25% health, so you have to make sure your health is high. So it's all about keeping your health high and keeping that power bar active. I suppose if you get that power bar up onto the next level, boom, and you're going to get some health. So don't lose any health. Well, that's really kind of a current option with Marvel Contest of Champions. It's best not to lose health. Which I suppose then it's all about player ability. The attack incinerates the enemy is on special 2, dealing 100% of your attack as energy damage over 10 seconds. Its effect also removes perfect block chance and reduces block proficiency. Oh, we've read all this. Chance to concussion. Yeah, very good. And I think this character is going to be fantastic. But there's so many things, like I said, to remember. You have to remember to do this in order to do that. And you know, regeneration. It's the same thing with Dr. Voodoo, except you know what you're getting. So here's him in action. I love that running. He's just like running with his gun, powerful. We've got the robotic arm that up as a strong arm. You're not going to get through that. So there's a first power threshold. Boom, we're hitting him with the regeneration. I'm trying to see, but obviously because it's a full health Cable, it's difficult to then make out what kind of regen the character is getting. Obviously it's meant to be 15%, but it's just like, you know, what is it per second? You know, can we kind of take some damage and hit out some damage and take and deal it? So we're going to hit the second power bar. There we go. But obviously he chose in this match to do the L2 because it's a showcase by MCOC mods. What MCOC mods had with this one is must be some kind of mod on it that doesn't take too much damage, so it must be like a damage blocker, which is it's then hard to kind of see how much damage the character is actually taking. Oh, that L3 with that gun is just monumentally amazing. So moving on to Gwenpool, and if you've watched my video which kind of states the backstory to Gwenpool, then you'll know a bit about how weird the character is. Just very weird, very modern character to come into our Marvel Contest of Champions universe. Very, very unusual, great amount of synergies, and it's hard to really kind of like put into perspective what this character has, but except for the fact, abilities wise, stun, bleed, incinerate, innovate, and you know, we'll have a look at that in a minute, and armor break. So there's like, you know, these definite ones here that are just like detrimental. Like stun's like brilliant in any case to have. I really think that this character is going to be so interesting. The design, first point, it's very odd, but it's not in any way, shape or form different from what we expect from a comic book backstory to the character. Where's the guns? Gun. One gun there, so that's alright. And the story is, you know, through unknown means, the avid comic reader Gwenpool was transported into the world of comics she loves so much, with all of her memories of the real world intact. Unwilling to remain an extra in her own story, she sets out to make a name for herself and to find a way to pay her internet bill. Maybe she can make some money in the contest thingy. At least it'll give her something fun to do. Of course, the contest is very fun. And on to signature abilities. So plot armor is a signature ability. Gwen reads enough comics to know that the main character doesn't die, and so far as she's concerned, if she's going to live in a comic, then she's going to be the main character. If this is a story, that means her rules, and we'll find out what her rules are in a moment. Except for all attacks, 3% chance to stun her bleed at active on target, lasting for 0.75 seconds. Now I don't know if you can then adding on stuff with your mastery abilities. Are you going to enhance things with like limber? You know, these going to be extended, these stun effects, because that can be, you know, fantastic. Obviously not fantastic if you're facing off against certain characters that are not well, susceptible to stun attacks, as well as champions that don't have applicable bleed effects to them. But 25% chance to inflict bleed, dealing 70% of your attack as direct damage over 5 seconds. You know, tasty, and that can be brilliant, especially going hand in hand with masteries like deep wounds, and even assassinate can be, you know, helpful to the characters like this. Heavy attacks. If target isn't bleeding when the last strike hits, it has a 50% chance to cause bleed, doing 70% of Gwen's attack over 5 seconds. If the target is already bleeding, the attack instead gains 100% chance to convert one existing bleed into a bleed, causing 450% of Gwen's attack as damage over 23 seconds. My god, she's a bleed machine, and I thought that Duodinium poke on Deadpool X-Force was bad. Special 1, the attack incinerates the enemy. It incinerates, my god. She's getting them all these fantastic things, dealing 98% of your attack as energy damage over 14 seconds. This effect also removes perfect block chance and reduces block efficiency by 100% while it's active. When this effect expires, it has 100% chance to consume one bleed effect to reapply itself. Reapply? My god. And there's just more like applicable things like armor break to the bleed, and 100% chance to consume one bleed effect to reapply itself. You know, this is just like, it's like a bleed. It is a bleed machine, absolute bleed machine. So here's a Dr. Voodoo fight, and obviously starting off against Dr. Voodoo, he's going to get that regeneration. Not so much when he's unduped. So it's going to be just like a standard fight. Obviously, what again MCOC mods has done is taken off of the abilities to take damage, which is again a bit disappointing because we can't see the extent of armor, how the armor breaks down and how weak the armor is. So a bleed, like look at that effectiveness on that bleed. That's really good. Obviously at the moment the character's incinerated, so incinerate and bleed. And we're ready. L2, here you go. Now that's cool. It's like a little present, is a little gift, and bang. The block is just so cool, like a little thing of the collector up there, little blow up doll of like, hit him, not me. He's over there watching in the distance. And then, yeah, just a very consistent bleed. Is really, and the effects are Deadpool-esque. But she has, in her own right, her own kind of like special like moves. A little bit better than waiting around with the guys to say what standard Deadpool's like, you know, and well, Deadpool X-Force. The L3, and they're just waiting around to do that phone call and the gunshot. Just get on with it. Building up again. Well, no, we're building up to the L3 now. You can see all that bleed. Like, look at all that bleed. That 4 stackable bleed is just like amazing. But I think MCOC mods is kind of like, you know, when he's doing this video is, I mean, I think he just probably realised that, you know, the extent of damage that I'm putting in with those bleeds is just not enough to really kind of give a good showcase if you're going up against an enemy. One thing to say is the heavy attack when she's swinging through is like she gets quite tired in doing it. Oh god, here we go with a big bazooka, and it's like, oh shit, I just shot the wrong thing, and boom. And so Gwenpool is like Deadpool X-Force on speed, really. Look at that pose. It just makes it all the better, all the more fun. So what are my thoughts on these characters? Well, I've wanted Cable in from the very beginning. He's a fantastic character within the Marvel universe, and now obviously we've got him entered into the Marvel Contest of Champions universe. Gwenpool, on the other hand, has some fantastic bleed abilities, which coupled with stuff like deep wounds, it's going to be a really great character and could really replace Deadpool X-Force in my mind when it comes to what character I would use for a lot of bleed in a very short space of time. Cable, on the other hand, has things like regeneration. Not so good when it comes to I'd say being very kind of clinical with the character, because there's a lot to the character. There's a lot with regards to moves and remembering things, like after I do the third, to then as soon as I get it for 15 seconds to then get up to, say, the special one, to hit it in to be unblockable with True Strike. There's a lot of things to remember. The block proficiency side of things is fantastic, and I may then have to compare the character off to some other characters, maybe even a Captain America World War II. Like I said, with regards to the perfect block chance. So hard to say, but Cable is the one that I'm maybe going for at 5-star or 4-star, based on the fact that he's a character that I've always wanted. That's really the kind of justification for it. Anyway, let me know in the comments below which character out of the two you would want. And as always, thank you very much for your support, and thanks for watching this video. I've been RichTheMan, and please subscribe, like, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.